Today on the 411, I profile two amazing women who are doing amazingly well in their various industry sectors and charting new waters just to find out exactly what the magic is behind their success. Don't go anywhere. Mrs. Modupe Ogunlesi is one of Nigeria's top home ideas experts, and she can easily be referred to as the queen of West Africa's lifestyle living business, with her magic fingers that is behind West Africa's largest departmental store talking home ideas, Adam and Eve. How would you define your work?
Well, I'm the CEO of Adam and Eve. So what does the CEO do? The CEO decides on the direction of the business and the strategies to achieve that direction. So I have a dream. Now I have to strategize how to get that dream into reality. Then the other thing is to manage the assets of the business so that the needs of the employees are looked after, the customers, the investors, the community you live in, and all the legal bits. And then to carry out the logistics of what to do with the capital, what to put as priority, how to allocate the capital of the business. So that's what I do.
Now, you control the affairs, of one of West Africa's largest departmental store. I have to ask what's the magic behind your success?
Well, magic? I'm not sure about the magic part, but basically because we are clear about the direction. The direction is to be the best there is. So even if you think we are the best today, we still have to keep on challenging that frontier so that we remain the best. That is the direction. Now the strategy to get there, that is the magic maybe. Because you have to look at the strategy if you are serious about the direction you are going. Now, we've tried a few strategies in Adam and Eve that have worked, which is the success continuously over the years. One is that the way we set up the shop, the way we set out the shop, gives you an idea so that you can become your own interior decorator. Because when you look at the store is set up more or less like what you have in your home. So you can decide this is what I like immediately or this is what I don't like. The other thing is our staff are very well trained. Continuously they are being trained. So when you ask questions, they can answer sensibly. And even when they can't, there is backup. So you find them saying, please excuse me, I'm going for their phone. That's to call backup, But 80% of the time, they can answer your questions. Then the third strategy is that when you come in, you're actually met by a personal shopper. Oh. Yes, we do. And the personal shopper has to be intelligent enough to answer your questions and to direct you in the right direction. So with these three strategies, that's one of the things we've done. So these three strategies have worked over the years, and I think that's a major part of our success.
All right. Now, walking through the store, from one end to the other, all I see is taste, beauty, amazing, beautiful, tasteful stuff. And I have to ask, how do you decide when you travel? Oh, okay, yeah, I think I want to introduce this brand to Nigerians. I think this is something Africans will embrace. What informs your decision on, okay, this is what I'm going to buy and take back to Adam and Eve, for my customers?
Okay. Two things, basically, beauty and function. If it's not beautiful, I'm not going to stop. It's as simple as that. Then when you move near beauty, you now examine the function and see how efficient that slots into your country. And the other thing is, beauty is an element of your background. It's an element of your culture. And I'm Nigerian to the core. Very Nigerian. So I know the things that, even though Europe might think it's beautiful, we don't regard it as beautiful. A basic thing is your dinner plate. Nigerians, 90% of Nigerians do not want to see a dog on their dinner plate. We don't like animals that much. On the other hand, a dog on a plate or a cat on a plate, a European might find it attractive. Maybe it reminds him or her of the first dog they had when they were 2 or 3. Yeah, we might keep a dog in the yard, but not on the dining table, you know. So there are things that are just us, you know, that this is not acceptable to us. So, you know, but basically it's beauty and functionality. It has to add to the decor of your house, you know, which is what beauty to me means. So when it's there, it's a talking point in your house. When people come in, they'll say, ah, Aanu, where did you get this from? This is so lovely. Aha. So even when you invite people from different groups of your life, you might have a few church friends, you might have work friends, you know, you have them all there. But when you have these beautiful things in your place, then it breaks the ice. Because if you say, oh, Aanu, where did you get this? It's so lovely. Ah, really, you two think so? I was just eyeing it. You know, so it breaks the ice. So in your home, you need to have talking points. You know, if you sit at the dinner table and it's like, ah, I like your underplates. They're so nice. Ah, oh, yeah. I'll be eyeing it too. You know, so even though you don't know each other, the ice is broken. Exactly. So, you know, so you need beauty in the home. Beauty, but they must also be functional and they must perform efficiently.
I'm sure you go through zillions of challenges every day with the magnitude of your business. Maybe you want to talk about a few of them?
Well, one, the major thing is still the strategy, because Nigeria changes. And sometimes you cannot predict the change. The whole world had told us that the oil was good, the price was going to go down, but we didn't quite realize the huge impact it will make on the foreign exchange. So now you have a tougher job in allocating priorities within the business. So now you have to think again. Should I change that generator, or should we keep on paying another year's maintenance fee, these high maintenance fees, or should you spend it on stock? You know, So because what the devaluation of the currency effective, you know, because although the currency has not officially been devalued, you are going to buy it at a rate that is not the official rate. It is like halving your capital. So allocating your resources becomes a bit more difficult. Those are one of the challenges. And over the years, when prices of facilities just goes up, immediately you have to reorientate your strategies in terms of allocating your resources. So those are the challenges. But basically, we're Nigerians. We must learn to smile. You have to have a sense of humor to exist in this country. So, and you roll with the tide, because it's not something that affects you alone. It affects everybody. When the wind blows, everybody feels the wind. So it's okay, you know, not a bad place to be in.
Well, you know, Nigerians, we are all about our style. We like to dress and all that. But when you're thinking, okay, lifestyle, living, home, you know, how would you rate, if you want to compare us, for instance, to countries like Europe and South Africa and maybe Dubai, you know, how would you rate Nigerian sense of style when it comes to our home decor?
Actually, we are not doing badly. Years ago, when I first started this business, you get people who will tell me that, oh, these crystal glasses, but my house help will break it. You don't know how careless they are. They are going to break it. And I'm looking at them that, so the dry cleaner spoils your dress. What does that mean? You won't buy clothes anymore. It doesn't matter. It's a matter of the value you place on yourself. You know, when you first hit money, when you first, you know, what is the music? I got the alert.
I don't get alert.
I got the win. When that first happens to you, the first thing is we are show of people. You know, we are sure of people. So you want your neighbors and your friends to know that I got the alert. So the first thing you will do is to buy a new car. You change your clothing, you know. But as the money, as you get used to being comfortable, you have to start to think of your own personal comfort, the kind of bed sheets you are sleeping on, the kind of pillows that's comfortable for you, the kind of plates, because it makes you feel good. If you come in and you have a lovely dining setting in front of you, it makes the food taste better, you see. So you have to start thinking beyond, and you start thinking of your comfort. Gradually, I think Nigerians are getting there. You have less people who are complaining about, oh, this is too expensive, something will happen. Because the real truth is that when you buy an expensive dinner set, they are extra vitrified, which is extra baked, so they don't break that easily. Then when you're dealing with us, because we are also dealing with the manufacturers, if you break a plate, you can buy one plate back. That means that really your dinner set stays the same because you just replace what is broken. Unlike when you buy a cheap set, you are just waiting for it all to break so that you can buy a new one, and then it gets to a stage that only one plate is left of that, another plate, and you get a visitor and you are looking for, oh, I don't have two plates. Hey, it doesn't matter if you've got 10 BMWs and a Hummer parked outside. It just makes you seem tacky, you know. So once you have that lifestyle, then you must complete the lifestyle. Adam and Eve is here to make you able to complete the lifestyle.
Yeah, I get it. Now, this is for our Nigerian women, you know, all across Africa as well. You know, fine, I might get crucified for this, but I know we can be very, very outspoken when it comes to our fashion, you know, hair, jewelry, although I'm not very much a jewelry person, but you know, when it comes to jewelry and when it comes to our shoes or bags, we're very, very, you know, finicky about things like that. But when you compare that to how finicky we are to our home and our space, you know, are we there yet? Nigerian women now talking about, oh, I want my friends to come around, you know, when we are hosting and my husband has people from work, home, you know, I want to wow them with the opulence and, you know, the ambience of my house. How finicky are we about stuff like that?
Once you go to a house and they are entertaining and things look good, your husband notices. So when they come to your house and it's below par and you are on the same social strata with the other guy, then he's embarrassed. And if he's embarrassed, even if you are not embarrassed, he's going to comment on it. Because I had a woman once who came into the shop and said, they went to dinner with a friend, you know, they went to a friend's house for dinner the night before. And her husband held up the cutlery and said, please, what is this? You know, and she was like, cutlery now, what's the problem? You know it's cutlery. Oh, I said, what's the problem? It's cutlery. Yes, I know it's cutlery. So why are we eating with the trash in my house? You know, and she said she was so embarrassed because although he was trying to talk quietly, the whole table had him. So she had to ask the hostess at the end of the day that, please, where did your cutlery and your plates come from? And there she was at Adam and Eve the following day. You know, and I've had somebody, you know, a boardroom, a company, they had a meeting, and I think they had partners from South Africa who had come, and they, you know, they had tea over the meeting and that kind of thing. And he said, after the chairman of the company called her as the company secretary, that, excuse me, have you never heard of Adam and Eve? Oh, my. And she said, she has, she sees the ads. I said, I'll suggest that you pay it a visit because I was very embarrassed today. You know, so we get these things. So I think it's made Nigerians more aware because they are being forced to face the reality that a lifestyle is a lifestyle. You know, a lifestyle is a lifestyle. You can't have it halfway.
Interesting. Now, walking through the store, I noticed that, you know, it's like you recently expanded your outdoor section. it's bigger, it's beautiful. There is a section somewhere there where I'm thinking, oh my God, all that's left is just to have a grill and barbecue going on, as well as maybe music and people around, and you know, we're just good to go. So expanding your outdoor section, is that as a result of you thinking, oh, okay, we want Nigerians to start thinking of their outdoor decor? Or are we getting there naturally as self-demanding and coming in and saying, oh, do you have stuff for my outdoor? You know, what's responsible for that expansion?
Well, outdoor, you know, quite a few people have large gardens, especially around GRA, some of the prime areas. You have a large garden, but do you actually enjoy your garden? You know, so people put chairs in, but it's just decoration. Because when you sit there, mosquitoes are going to take a big chunk out of you. Sandflies are going to decorate your body. So we realized over time that, look, people, you've just completed your house. You want your outdoor space to look nice, and you just pluck a few chairs. But guess what we found out? There is a mosquito and a sandfly trapper. Once you plug it into your garden, only one covers 700 square meters of your space. Oh my word. So we are confident now that when you put chairs in your garden, you will sit in it. So now we are looking at outdoor garden as really functional space. The chairs we now do are different because you will see if you sit back, even the cheapest ones, that it will support your back. So you can be in your garden the whole evening, Sunday afternoon. We now do canopies that actually are big enough to shade you from the sun. So we've moved our outdoor to just not decorative, but functional, where you can have fun. So your garden space can be real fun, just because of that mosquito trapper.
All right, then. So is there anything we should expect from Adam and Eve in the next coming maybe weeks or months?
Well, quite a few things are coming in. We have something in the leather section, leather golf carts, which I think is very good, especially if you are thinking of retiring. So, you know, because of course, if you have a leather golf bag, that is like forever. You just polish it, and the older it is, the more mature, then they know that you're an old golfer. So we have that. Versace has just come up with another design, and so that is coming into. We have a new supplier for diffusers. The diffuser bottles are just incredible, lovely, lovely. Then we are doing more. We've got a new supplier on serviette papers. So any color, you know, now as somebody said, Nigerians will teach you about colors. Yeah. They will tell you there's a color called Ojuelegba blue. Oh my. You know, you have all kinds of colors. Where once they have a wedding, you have all. So we've got the paper serviettes, all the colors. We've got about 24 colors coming in, which is very useful. Of course, we now have mattress toppers are coming in. So it doesn't matter, even if you have an orthopedic bed, you need a topper because your back is not ramrod straight. Your spine is a bit curvy. So you need a mattress topper on top of the mattress to make your back comfortable, really comfortable. More memory pillows are coming in. So just generally home things to make your life easier.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, from Mrs. Modupe Ogunlesi, one of Nigeria's top business entrepreneurs and the queen of West Africa's lifestyle living business, I go to another woman who's ruling in the engineering and logistics business in Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Nigeria's capital, to discuss with her the secret also behind amazing, amazing sources. Dr. Aisha Suleiman Achimugu is very vibrant, very vivid. She is a vivacious and vibrant dresser. She is beautiful, and she is always charting the course of young women to do vibrant in their various business industries.
Like you know, the group has different companies, different little companies that consent the group, and we have different mandates, you know, in the five or six companies under the group.
And how long has the company been operating in Nigeria?
Some of the companies under the group has been in existence since 2000, and some, the latest one came on board in 2014.
Can you shed a bit of light on your mode of operations?
Mode of operation, basically consulting, general contracting, and facility building and capacity building as well. And now we're trying to diversify into public sector in full time, in providing broadband and ICP services to the nation.
So what informs the kinds of projects that you undertake? Yeah, basically maybe you're thinking, oh, this line, there is a demand or there is profit to be made here, or this market, there seems to be market in this line. You know, what informs your decision to say, okay, we are going to be interested in this business?
Yeah, what inclines us, it's when the projects are very challenging, we try to get in there, you know, yeah, and said, okay, if ABC can do it, we can. And then we'll have, when there's a need for us to have technical expertise, we have partnership in those areas, you know, with, you know, foreigners and people that have a better skill what we do. So we basically, we have open doors to partnership of what we do with our clients. So basically what informed us is challenge.
3 years ago, Dr. Aisha Suleiman Achimugu won the prestigious African Achievers Awards for excellence as one of Nigeria's budding and vibrant entrepreneurs. And since then, she has continued to break even our own boundaries every single year, charting new courses and breaking new business grounds. How does Felak Group, how do you fulfill your corporate social responsibility mandate?
The group has established an NGO, you know, it's called the Sampan Foundation. So that takes care of, the social part of the company, you know, reaching out to people, the women, children, and healthcare sector. And it's not just an NGO, we're basically very involved in it, and we have the right. Our team is quite strong in making sure that they take the aspect of that customer care is being achieved from the NGO. You know, so while we do the infrastructure building with the other companies, and so we don't want to leave anything untouched. So we do that.
Because most other organizations, usually you just set up a department to handle the CSR project, but you seem to set up a whole company, you know, to handle your CSR project.
Yes, we do. You know, so the NGO, it's like we say, okay, let me now sell the NGO. It's called Sam Empowerment Foundation. So they basically do healthcare, women empowerment, send a child to school. It's called the Child Initiative Education. And then from the setting up of the NGO, it was set up when I turned 40. So the NGO is 2 years old. But we've done quite a lot. We've reached out to people and we've engaged in healthcare. We've done free medical healthcare for people. We have 1,000 kids in school, and then we have support from, you know, even both the clients and the public sector that we work with. You know, so it's a passion for us as a team, the whole group, not just me being the GMD, but the whole team.
It was very obvious that Dr. Aisha Suleiman Achimugu is loved by one and all. When at her 40th birthday, everyone came out from the north, south, east, and west corners of Nigeria to celebrate with a young business entrepreneur. So can you highlight some of the projects that Felak Group has undertaken that you're thinking, oh my God, I'm so proud, I'm so happy we decided to get into this project?
I'm most proud of everything.
No, but then, you know, there has to be this one that you're thinking, oh my God, exciting, I will never forget, you know, my experience in this particular, project.
I say it all the time that my most challenging work is actually getting into a consulting of, you know, the new infrastructure in Nigeria. That's a greenfield project, that's the BOM project, you know, which we started from the IDD to the approval of the OBC. Even though we have a bit of halt right now on the project, but I know this excel. It's an amazing, it's the first #1 goal for me that I set up, you know, challenging myself in that sector, because it's a very competitive sector. You know, it's not a thing that I want to see, oh, who's this little girl or little woman from Nigeria. But, you know, it's opened my eyes to different business ideas. I've met different contacts through it, and I've excelled from it. My intellectual has been improved in it. My personal and knowledge to business growth has improved in it. And, you know, and I've been exposed to different things, having to be that person that did that whole processing. Then the most exciting thing is my new product, which I won't say right now because we're keeping that quiet. And so when that comes on board again, it'll be another most interesting thing that I've done in my lifetime.
So when you're thinking, okay, in the next few years, we might be thinking of diversifying into this field for Felak Group, what might that be?
The oil and gas, yes. Most people mix up my business to think that I do oil and gas, but I have never done oil and gas. But it's something we're working on before the end of the year. We should have that in place, put together. And
you know, in this period when people are thinking, oh, the oil and gas business is not, you know, as, should I say profitable, or at least the oil and gas industry seems to be having its own challenges right now. That's when you want to get into the market.
Quite a lot of it. You know, it's for those that, you know, basically said, I'm not doing the oil, when I mean oil and gas, I don't want to import the DPQ or the LPOs and all. So there are quite a number of things you can go in. The infrastructure part of the oil and gas, there are quite a lot of things to do, taking care of the refinery part, you know, and the downstream part of it.
Well, if you are just joining me, I was having a chat with Dr. Mrs. Aisha Suleiman Achimugu. She's the MD CEO of Felak Group of companies here in Nigeria, and she is one of our most celebrated young entrepreneurs. And we have been discussing, you know, how they have been doing their own fair share of contributing to development in Nigeria.